a second division team, fighting relegation, bottom of the table, struggling to survive, versus Real Madrid. The most successful club in history, 15 Champions Leagues, the Galacticos, final score 3-2. But not the way you think, because this wasn't just a loss, this was a statement, a brand new manager, his first match in charge. 3 days after the previous manager was sacked, and he made a choice that shocked the football world. He left Mbappe in Madrid. Bellingham stayed home, Courtois didn't even travel. And when the disaster happened, when the 94th minute counter-attack broke Madrid hearts, the manager stood in front of the cameras and said 9 words that will define his entire career. I will choose this team 1,000 times. But here's the twist that will make you question everything you think you know about football management. What if this wasn't a mistake? What if the loss was calculated? What if Florentino Perez wanted this to happen? Before I reveal why Real Madrid's president might have engineered the biggest Copa del Rey upset in years, you need to subscribe to Cyberboot. Because what you're about to witness in the next few minutes isn't just about a shock result. It's about how power works at football's biggest clubs. This is Real Madrid, and nothing happens by accident. Welcome back to Cyberboot, where we don't just cover football results, we decode the decisions behind them. The power plays, the calculated risks, the moments that look like failures but might be strategy. Today we're talking about one of the biggest upsets in modern Copa del Rey history, Real Madrid versus Albacete Balompie. If you don't know Albacete, here's all you need to know. They play in the second division, La Liga, hypermotion, Spain's second tier. And they're not just in the second division, they're fighting relegation, bottom half of the table, struggling to survive. Real Madrid, the most valuable football club on earth, a squad worth over €1 billion. The result? Albacete 3, Real Madrid 2. But this video isn't about the goals, it's about the decision. Because Real Madrid's manager, Alvaro Arbeloa, in his first match in charge, made a choice that shocked everyone. He rested his stars. Mbappe, Bellingham, Courtois, they didn't even travel to Albacete. And when Madrid lost in the 94th minute to a counter-attack, Arbeloa stood in front of the world and said, I will choose this team 1,000 times. I am responsible. I made the decision to rotate because I believe in these players. Failure is part of the road to success, and I am not afraid of it. This video is about 4 things. The match, how a second division relegation battler beat Real Madrid, the decision, why Arbeloa left his superstars at home for his debut. The quote, what I will choose this team 1,000 times, really means. The theory, why Florentino Perez might have wanted this upset to happen. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this loss might be the smartest thing Arbeloa could have done. But first, let me ask you, if you're a manager in your first match, do you play it safe and pick your strongest team? Or do you take a risk and trust your reserves? Drop safe or risk in the comments. Because Arbeloa's answer to this question just defined his Real Madrid career. Let's start with the match, the night everything went wrong. Wednesday, January 14th, 2026, Estadio Carlos Belmonte, Albacete, Copa del Rey, round of 16. This is a small stadium, capacity just over 17,000, old, traditional. The kind of place where the crowd is right on top of you. And tonight, it's packed. Because the town of Albacete, population 170,000, is hosting Real Madrid. Albacete's situation, second division, fighting relegation. This is their cup run, their chance at glory. A win against Real Madrid would be the biggest result in their history. Real Madrid's situation. 3 days earlier, they lost the Spanish Super Cup final to Barcelona. Their manager, Xabi Alonso, left the club immediately after. Alvaro Arbeloa, promoted from the youth academy, is now in charge. And this Copa del Rey match is his first game as Real Madrid manager. The team sheet drops, no Mbappe, no Bellingham, no Courtois. Arbeloa has fielded a rotated squad. Academy players, fringe players, the B team. Spanish media explodes. Twitter goes insane. Arbeloa is disrespecting the Copa del Rey. He's going to get humiliated in his first match. Florentino Perez will sack him tonight if they lose. Madrid starts strong. The rotated players are trying to prove themselves. They want to show Arbeloa they deserve to play. But Albacete? They're fearless. They press high. They tackle hard. They believe. First half, the crowd is roaring. Every tackle, every shot, every Madrid mistake gets a massive reaction. Albacete score. The stadium erupts. Madrid equalize. The away fans breathe a sigh of relief. Second half. Albacete score again. They're leading. A second division relegation team is beating Real Madrid. Madrid equalize again, 2-2, extra time looming. The 94th minute. Madrid are pushing for a winner. They commit players forward. They're desperate to avoid extra time. And then, Albacete win the ball, counter-attack. Madrid are exposed, defenders scrambling back. The ball is played through. A striker runs onto it. The goalkeeper comes out. Goal. Albacete 3, Real Madrid 2. The stadium explodes. Players pile on top of each other. Fans are crying. This is the greatest moment in Albacete's history. And Real Madrid, heads down, devastated, beaten by a team 2 divisions below them. Final whistle, Albacete 3, Real Madrid 2. One of the biggest Copa del Rey upsets in modern history. And Alvaro Arbeloa, 3 days into the job, has to face the media. So why did Arbeloa rest his stars? Because this wasn't his only decision. This was the first decision in a long-term strategy. Let me explain. The situation Arbeloa inherited 3 days earlier, January 11th, 2026. Real Madrid lost the Spanish Super Cup final to Barcelona. The players were exhausted, frustrated, angry. Xabi Alonso, the previous manager, left the club immediately after that defeat. Resigned or sacked, it doesn't matter. He was gone. Florentino Perez promoted Alvaro Arbeloa from managing the U19 Castilla squads to the first team. Arbeloa's first match, Copa del Rey round of 16 versus Albacete, January 14th. 3 days later, La Liga match, crucial for the title race. 1 week later, Champions League knockout stage. The choice Arbeloa faced, option 1, play the stars. Field Mbappe, Bellingham, Courtois, the full first team. Win the Copa del Rey match, keep everyone happy. Risk. The players are exhausted from the Super Cup. If they get injured in a smaller cup competition, you've just ruined your La Liga and Champions League campaigns. Option 2, rest the stars, trust the reserves. Rotate the squad. Prioritize La Liga and Champions League over the Copa del Rey. Risk. You might lose. And if you lose your first match as Real Madrid manager, the media will destroy you. Arbeloa chose option 2. Why? Because he's not thinking about the next match, he's thinking about the next season. Arbeloa played under Jose Mourinho at Real Madrid. And Mourinho taught him 1, protect your best players, even if it costs you a trophy. Mourinho famously rotated squads in the Copa del Rey. He'd field weakened teams, rest his stars, and focus on La Liga and Champions League. And Arbeloa? He learned from the best. Arbeloa looked at the schedule and thought, if I play Mbappe, Bellingham, Courtois against Albacete and they get injured, I lose La Liga and Champions League. But if I rest them and we lose the Copa del Rey, we still have La Liga and Champions League. And so, he chose. He picked the reserves, he trusted the academy players, and he lost. But here's the thing. He doesn't regret it. Here's my question for you. If you're a manager, do you risk your best players in a cup match, or do you protect them for the League and Champions League? Drop risk or protect in the comments. Because Arbeloa just answered this question, and it cost him a trophy. The post-match press conference. Arbeloa walks into the room. Journalists are waiting. Cameras flashing, microphones ready. They want blood. They want him to apologize, to admit he made a mistake. The question, do you regret your team selection? Arbeloa looks at the journalist, and he says 9 words that will define his career. I will choose this team 1,000 times. Let that sink in. He lost. His debut match as Real Madrid manager, beaten by a second division relegation team. One of the biggest upsets in years, and he says, I will choose this team 1,000 times. He continues, I am responsible. I made the decision to rotate because I believe in these players. Failure is part of the road to success, and I am not afraid of it. This is not what journalists expected. They expected, I made a mistake. I should have played the first team. I'm sorry. But Arbeloa gave them the opposite. He doubled down. Why? Because this quote isn't for the media. It's for three audiences. Audience 1, the reserve players, the players who lost against Albacete, the academy kids, the fringe players. Arbeloa is telling them, I believe in you, I trusted you, and we lost, but I will trust you again, because you are the future of this club. The message, you're not just backups, you're important. Audience 2, the superstars Mbappe, Bellingham, Courtois, the players who stayed in Madrid. Arbeloa is telling them, I will protect you, I will take the heat, I will rotate the squad to keep you fresh, even if it costs me my job. The message, I'm your shield, I'll sacrifice myself for you. Audience 3, Florentino Perez, the Real Madrid president, the man who hired Arbeloa. Arbeloa is telling him, I'm a company man, I will protect the club's assets, the stars. I will take responsibility. I will never throw the players under the bus. The message, I'm exactly what you wanted, and that is why Arbeloa said, I will choose this team 1,000 times, because he's not managing for today, he's managing for the long term. The two interpretations, the critics' view, this is arrogance. Arbeloa underestimated Albacete. He threw away a trophy in his first match because of ego. He should have played his best team, won the match, and then started rotating. Instead, he humiliated Real Madrid on his debut. The Perez view. This is exactly what Florentino Perez wanted. A manager who protects the superstars from injury fatigue, takes responsibility for defeats, shields the players from media criticism, prioritizes La Liga and Champions League over domestic cups. Perez doesn't care about the Copa del Rey. He cares about the Champions League. And Arbeloa just proved he's willing to sacrifice a cup to protect the squad for Europe. Which brings us to the theory that will make you see this defeat in a completely different light. What if this wasn't a mistake? What if Florentino Perez wanted Real Madrid to lose to Albacete? Hear me out. Real Madrid have a problem. They have too many stars and not enough games. Mbappe, Bellingham, Vinicius, Rodrigo, Modric, Valverde, Camavinga, Chouameni, all world class, all expecting to play. But you can only field 11 players. The solution, rotate. Give playing time to everyone. Keep the squad fresh, avoid injuries. But there's a problem. If you rotate in La Liga or Champions League and lose, the fans will destroy you. So what do? You rotate in the Copa del Rey. Florentino Perez tells Arbeloa, I'm hiring you to protect the squad. I don't care about the Copa del Rey. Rest the stars, trust the reserves. If we lose, I'll back you. But keep Mbappe and Bellingham healthy for the Champions League. Arbeloa agrees. He knows the plan. The Albacete match. Arbeloa fields a rotated team. The media criticizes him. Madrid lose. The media attacks him. But Arbeloa doubles down. I will choose this team 1,000 times. Why? Because Perez is backing him. Behind closed doors, Perez is saying, Perfect. You took the heat. You protected the stars. You're doing exactly what I hired you to do. The evidence. Arbeloa wasn't sacked. If Perez was angry about the defeat, Arbeloa would be gone. But he's still the manager. The quote, I will choose this team 1,000 times is a company line. It's what Perez wants to hear. The precedent. Jose Mourinho did the same thing at Real Madrid, rotated in the Copa del Rey, lost matches. Perez backed him. So here's the theory. Florentino Perez engineered this defeat. He told Arbeloa, rotate, protect the stars, I don't care if you lose. Arbeloa did exactly that, and when the media attacked him, he took full responsibility. The result, the superstars are rested. The reserves got playing time. Arbeloa proved he's a company man, and Real Madrid can now focus on La Liga and Champions League. The Copa del Rey? Perez doesn't care. It's a sacrifice to keep the squad healthy. But is this fair to the fans? No. They wanted to see Real Madrid in the Copa del Rey final. To Albacete, they got their greatest victory ever. To Arbeloa? He took the heat for a decision that Perez likely approved. But this is Real Madrid, and at Real Madrid, the Champions League is all that matters. Everything else? Expendable. Final question. Do you think Florentino Perez wanted Real Madrid to lose this match so the squad stays fresh for the Champions League? Drop yes or no in the comments, because this theory explains everything about Arbeloa's decision. So what happens now? Arbeloa is still Real Madrid manager. The Copa del Rey is gone, but La Liga and Champions League remain. Real Madrid face crucial La Liga fixtures, and Champions League knockout stages are coming. Will Arbeloa's gamble pay off? If the Stars stay healthy and Madrid win La Liga or Champions League, Arbeloa will be hailed as a genius. The media will say he sacrificed the Copa del Rey to prioritize the important trophies, smart management. If the Stars get injured or Madrid win nothing, Arbeloa will be destroyed. The media will say he threw away the Copa del Rey for nothing. He should have won every trophy he could. But here's the thing. Arbeloa doesn't care what the media thinks, because he made his choice and he's sticking to it. I will choose this team 1,000 times. The final lesson. Football management isn't about winning every match. It's about winning the important matches. And at Real Madrid, the Copa del Rey isn't important. Not when you have the Champions League. Real Madrid lost to Albacete, a second division team fighting relegation. Alvaro Arbeloa, first match as manager, rested his stars, lost 3-2 in the 94th minute, and then he said, I will choose this team 1,000 times. Was it arrogance, or was it strategy? Was it a mistake, or was it calculated? Before you go, I need 5 things from you. Subscribe to Cyberboot right now. We decode football's power plays, the decisions that look like failures but might be genius. If you want real analysis, this is your home. Hit that like button if you think Arbeloa was right to rest his stars, even though it cost him the Copa del Rey. Get into the comments and answer the 3 questions I asked. Would you play it safe or take a risk in your first match as manager? Safe or risk? Would you risk your stars in a cup or protect them for the league? Risk or protect? Do you think Perez wanted Madrid to lose this match? Yes or no? Drop your answers now. Share this video with one Real Madrid fan who's confused why Arbeloa lost his debut match. Comment 1 word that describes Arbeloa's decision. Just 1 word. Albacete 3, Real Madrid 2, the biggest upset in years. Or the smartest sacrifice in football. This has been Cyberboot, where we don't just watch football, we decode the strategy. Subscribe now. Because in football, nothing is an accident.